Ladies and gentlemen, joining me in the studio, literally in the studio right now, is Dr. Rebecca Hauser.
Hauser?
Or, no, Foster. Sorry.
Because we were just talking.
We were just talking about Johnny Hauser.
Yes, we were.
And we're not going to tell why.
No.
But Rebecca Foster's in here. I apologize. What a great way to start things. I played one of the worst EVPs ever for her.
Yes.
And then I called her Hauser. So
Yeah, you did. It's okay. I won't take offense.
You're already edging towards the door.
No. It's because it's hard to lift to cross my legs, so I'm swinging kind of like.
It's a weird chair, isn't it?
It's kind of high.
I wish we had better chairs in this studio. You should see mine.
I feel like a little girl with
Really?
my legs
Just
kind of
dangling?
swinging under the chair.
Well, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Rebecca Foster's in the studio with me today. And it's kind of interesting how all of this came about. A few weeks ago, my boss came in and he said, hey, this psychic reached out to me, essentially. And you had reached out to him, I reached out to you, and now here you are in the studio.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's your story, lady?
So
how'd you get to Iowa?
Iowa, you know what? I just think Iowa truly is God's country, and I think he brings me to Iowa to shake things up because it's all about new pathways and new beginnings, and so I love Iowa. I think everybody should at one point or another live in Iowa. The people are fantastic. They're so kind, and they all make some form of delicious casserole. And you can get invited to their houses because most people are like, hey, neighbor. Everybody's friendly.
Yeah.
Iowa's great.
So let's talk about you and, okay, what's your title? Like when you go to tell people what exactly it is you do, how do you explain it?
I usually look around and think, how am I going to tell them what I do? That's exactly, and then I kind of backpedal a little bit because I have to discern if this person's about to look, and that's exactly usually people look at me and go, yeah. Okay, so what is it? So if people ask, I'll tell them I'm a medium.
Okay.
And what does medium mean? So basically, I just am a conduit. I'm a tool that Spirit uses to be able to take messages and pass them through from those that cannot verbally communicate to those that can hear and the living. And it's a God-given gift. I've been doing it this year for 37 years, but it's not yet there. Not yet there. And it is a gift and I call it a gift. I've asked to have it taken away. I've tried to not use it, and it just seems to boomerang back at me a little bit stronger each time. So I also talk to animals that are living or passed over. I always joke around and tell people, if you're going to commit murder, don't do it in front of your dog because they talk.
Yeah.
They tell full detail. And people usually ignore the fact that there's an animal watching. And they talk, sing, they all have a voice. Domesticated animals, let me clarify, they're the ones that talk the most.
Yeah.
Horses, cats, some birds, dogs, not so much birds, like wild birds especially. They're more like messengers. And I'm also a medical intuitive, so I'm able to read people from head to toe and find out what's going on with them in case they need to go in for treatment, or if they're getting treatment and the doctor doesn't know what it is, can look a little bit different and find out what something looks like, a tumor or the blood and what's wrong with the blood. And so I do a lot of that as well. And I remote view things. So I
talked about that earlier before I started recording here.
Yes, and so I can go someplace and talk to what's there before I get there. And it's not just limited to humans. Like I can talk to Sasquatch and I can talk to aliens. It's all very telepathic, but they're really cool. And
well, I'd hope
going,
so. It's Sasquatch and aliens.
Well,
if they're boring, I don't want to live in this world anymore.
So for people asking, I have firsthand experience with both. Well, with all of it. Hence my beautiful tattoo here. With
nice. I was wondering what you had there.
Yes, it's my Bigfoot and my ghost and my alien. But a friend of mine, we'll call him Tim, I had first met him and his husband, and I was talking to them, and I thought, you've got a Squatch. And he goes, how did you know? And I said, because his energy's all over you. Like I'm finding him through you.
Yeah.
And so we get on this whole Squatch topic, and it's so cool. Wonderful, fantastic. They have this Squatch that peeks up in the windows. His name is, his name is whatever.
Yes.
Okay. And I'm doing the dishes one day. It's about 2 years ago. I'm doing the dishes, and this Squatch shows up, boop,
No, it doesn't.
And I'm like, hey, what's up? And he goes, because they talk, it's all telepathic. And he goes, I haven't seen Tim. What's wrong with Tim? I was like, I live 7 hours from you. I don't know where Tim is. I haven't talked to Tim. I'll find out. So I get on the messenger and I message him. I'm like, where are you at? What's going on? Are you home? He goes, no. He said, I had a heart attack. I'm in the hospital this week. And I was like, your Squatchy is worried and having a heart attack because he hasn't seen you in a week. He's like, no way. I said, yeah. So it was the coolest confirmation of ability to cross dimensions and to be able to do that, because this guy gets home and this thing will peek up. He's like 12 feet tall. He's white. He's beautiful. And he'll peek up and he'll watch TV through the windows. They feed him. He's got a whole, I call them pods is how I refer to them, but they travel behind his house. So
really?
Yeah.
What, you don't have to say, town or whatever. What state?
This is Southern Illinois.
Southern Illinois, really? What's interesting about that, Seth Olney, I have interviewed him and his brother for Calhoun County Paranormal Investigators a bunch, and they've switched to Bigfoot hunting. And hearing that, a place like Iowa has a lot of these stories, it's interesting, and it seems like it's becoming more commonplace, if that makes sense. That
I think so.
And it seems to make sense because there's food here. We grow food.
True. I was up at the ledges over the summer. It's prime. Like, you'd look at it.
Yeah,
and
that's
think,
where they go investigating a lot.
Okay. Well, I was there for the, 4 or 5 days, and I walked around and I was like, there are no Squatchies in this area. None. And you can always tell, too, if you're in a place where you would assume them to be, where there's a nice water source, there's good hiding places, you've got ridges or valleys and stuff where they're able to get a better vantage point. However, there's too many animals. There's squirrels, snakes, birds, rabbits everywhere. And in a Squatch area, that's depleted completely. There was deer tracks, everything. They will eat everything.
Really?
So I was vibing and I thought, there's not one here yet. So they could be a little further northwest of the ledges.
Yeah.
Because there's all of that state park over there too. And that there is, in all of that being Indian ground, that is another correlation to that.
It always seems to me like if you go into a forest or if you go into a house that's haunted, the feeling I describe it as if you go into somebody else's house and no one's home, it has a feeling.
Sometimes.
When or you can go in there and you're like, nobody's home. The house has a different feel when someone's home and when they're not home.
Correct.
And you can go in the woods, and we were out by Saylorville, and that was one of the feelings that we kind of got. It was like, yeah, there was something home, and then all of a sudden, nope, there's nothing home now.
Right.
Whatever it was, it's gone.
Right. Well, I get that. I do understand that. Haunted houses have a feeling where I sometimes walk in, nope, I'm out. Bye-bye. That's how I've bought houses before. What's wrong with her? Why is she getting in the car? Well, apparently you have a nasty ghost in here. A what?
Apparently Gozer lives here.
Oh, Gozer. Zool.
Dr. Rebecca Foster's in studio with me right now. So we kind of stumbled across each other, pass cross. You're here now. Now, the cool thing about this is we're actually going to be doing some calls here in a few minutes and letting you do some readings for folks.
Okay.
The question I always have when I'm around a medium or someone that says they're clairvoyant or that they have the gift or whatever it is, how does it come across to you? Like, if you're going to put it in terms that somebody else can kind of understand, what's it like? Is it like a radio on all the time? Is it seeing TV static and energy? What's it like for you?
Most of the time, I'll turn it off. If I'm out in public, I turn it off because so many crazy people.
Yeah.
And they infest everything, and there are ghosts and energies everywhere. And I'll be in line like, no, I'm not going to tell your mother that you're standing here.
Just leave me alone.
Yeah. There are times when they're bothersome. But as far as I'm concerned, if I turned it on, it's depending on the location, I will walk in and scan it as well. In other words, I need to turn on that antenna. If anything attracts to it, I know I have that to deal with when I'm reading. So when I walked in here, it's like, boop, on. Is anything coming to me that's going to harass me while I'm doing this? Is it already a haunted building? Blah, blah, blah. It's a feeling. This is how I try to help people with spiritual gifts that are dealing with anxiety. Because spiritually, if you get something on you or it looks at your light and thinks, oh, here's light, here's heaven, here's a source of energy I want to manifest or materialize, if they start pulling on that, it can mimic anxiety, butterflies in the stomach, a depletion in energy, the shakes.
Yeah.
And so when people are always saying, I suffer from anxiety, well, let me take a look at that.
Yeah.
Is it really a chemical problem, or are you attracting things to you that you don't realize you're attracting? And that's another part of why I do what I do. It's not just to be like, let me tell you your future. It really comes down to helping people.
Yeah. Well, it kind of goes along the way of manifesting the things around you.
Yep.
Of, if you're creating an energy around you that it's going to be the worst day ever. Well, if you're saying it's going to be the worst day ever, then something will probably make it the worst day ever. You're going to find that path.
Yes. Exactly. And that's very correct. People have to be more optimistic. You attract what you put out there. And like you just said, if you want it to be a good day, you just have to say, that was bad. Today's going to be a good day.
The other question I have, and this is one that kind of comes around from, different shows and stuff. And, I imagine it's like anything else. If they put a radio DJ on TV, they're going to make a lot of mistakes in what it's like being a radio DJ. When you see some of the stuff on TV, is it like that? Is it not like that? Is it,
How do I see it?
Yes.
So there are several ways. When I'm reading for someone over the phone, like we'll be doing in a little while, that is information that is connected to me through dimensions by spirit guides, by God, by people who've passed over. So I go up and I find them. I will locate them and kind of swirl around that person. So I drop a veil, which when I'm reading, I won't be looking in your eyes because I will be looking at this veil. And so it's kind of like a curtain that drops. And
just tighten them on the side there.
Let me tighten that a little bit here. Hold on a second.
For lack of a better term,
flaccid. Flaccid mic. So not magic mic.
The mic got bored. What do you want?
Right. We don't want boredom. So I even just blushed. So it drops.
Yeah, but you know what? Real quick, and seeing some of your Facebook posts and stuff, you've got a pretty good sense of humor on you. So I imagine this is an okay joke.
No, it's absolutely okay.
Okay.
So the curtain drops, and I'm able to then look at that person, and I will walk with that person through their energy and through their life. So if I am in a building, something may walk right up here and appear in like a materialization of energy. So it's actually standing here.
Okay.
It just depends on, I think, where they're at. If they want to come to me on a spiritual level, I can do that. If they want to come to me within the building that I'm at, then and it depends on their energy source.
Okay.
If all of a sudden our cameras die and the recording devices die, it's because they're pulling on a source of energy to find that. And I will say, I read for a woman, and her son originally started to come through, but he was crackly. There was something really, usually if they're crackly or I'm having difficulty hearing them or understanding them, it's because it's a violent death or a suspect suicide.
Okay.
And I stopped him, and she hasn't said anything yet. I don't allow people to talk while I'm reading because I don't want interference.
Yeah.
And
you don't want to be led.
No, and I don't want to be led. And so he comes through, and I was like, I'm sorry, you have someone coming through, but he's crackly, and he's trying to pull on me. My eyes are starting to hurt because my eyes will start to droop, and I have to let him go. But he has to find another source of energy. Then he can talk to me all he wants because he was pulling me through dimensions. Nah, we don't do that. He came back about 5-10 minutes later and had full-blown conversation with her, finding his own energy source to be able to do that. And it really comes down to what they're capable of. Some of them don't know how to do it. They don't know what they're doing. You might get light bulbs that burn off because they're trying to communicate. Yeah.
It's an interesting thing because there's always the thought of, and this is coming from my point of view, and this isn't a shot across your bow by any means, but it's like, how do I know that you're actually talking to Uncle Joe?
Right.
How do I know that's not something else? And, especially in the kind of I'm just going to use the word paranormal world just for the world of the weird.
Yep.
The things with energy, the things with what you invite in and what you don't invite out and what drags itself in and what attaches to you. I mean, you get into some of that stuff and it's like, okay, how do I know that's Uncle Joe? I'm glad he knows all this stuff, but how do I know? You know?
Well, that's also part of it because when I'm reading for someone, that's an aspect that I don't want them to vocalize
Yeah.
or ask the questions, because only God knows what's really in a person's heart,
Yeah.
what they're feeling, what they're going through. At the moment you vocalize to me, oh my God, I'm so sad because of blah, blah, blah. Now these things over here are going, oh, did you hear that? Okay, she's sad because of that. So now we can feed into that and give her all the information that we know, because they know everything too.
Yeah, or the oh, you're sad. Is it because of my boyfriend? Oh, your boyfriend. Yes.
Oh, you can do. That's what. It's just a joke what the people do to take advantage, and then there are people who think they're doing it and they're just making stuff up.
Yeah.
It's not good. I don't like giving vague readings. If something is vague, I'll be like, that is too vague. I can say that to 10 people and it'll make sense. Give me more.
Yeah.
I want something that's going to
Impact.
fit. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
I got you. Dr. Rebecca Foster in the studio with me. We're going to be giving some people a call here to, and these are people that I put out the message that you were going to be on the show, and they were like, yeah, let's do it. So,
and I don't know who they are.
No, you don't. I know some of them.
Okay.
Not to varying degrees. Facebook.
Okay. Okay.
So, you ready to do this? Should we give some
Sure.
people a
Yeah.
call? All right.
Let's do something.
Okay, let me. Before we go, do you want? I can introduce you.
Yeah.
And say, hey, this is Dr. Rebecca Foster. This is such and such, right?
That's fine.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
I didn't want to mess up your reading.
No, you can't mess up my reading.
How many people just always come up to you? So, what do you see in my future?
I will not do that.
Yeah.
Because it's testing God, and
Yeah.
it's me going, okay, they want proof that this is real, which means that's proof that you're real. And they'll go, well, you just can't do it. And I'm like, you're right. I can't. Bye.
I imagine. Well, I just think about some of that stuff where they're like, you have in comparing it to the world of radio, where it's like, oh, how many rock stars have you met? Does it matter?
Right. No, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I know what I do. I'm not trying. I don't have to prove anything to anybody. And I do it because usually it's because people find me.
Now I feel bad that I made the joke about the lottery numbers when I originally talked to you.
You know what, though? I was able, when I was younger, I could pick winning numbers. But
What happened?
I tried it, and it's not why I have the gift. It's not why I have it.
You need to renegotiate.
No. Everything is supposed to be done through hard work. Everything is supposed to be through hard work. Yeah, I used to pick trifectas at the racetrack, and once we started betting them, I'm like, pick 9, 4, 7. And then, it doesn't work. They know.
Be like, everybody gets one here. Let this
That's
be
why
my
when
one.
I'm doing like lottery and stuff, you'd think I had bugs in my pants or something, but I don't. It's the seat. The seat is really.
Is there a lever on it?
There might be a lever. Let me check. Hold on. That's better.
All right. The chair debacle has been
I'm
solved.
so sorry. I can totally stand.
All right. With that, no, you're fine.
Okay.
All right.
Hello.
Trisha.
Hi.
Hey, it's B-sox. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm hanging in there. Hey, I'm here with Dr. Rebecca Foster.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you. I'm not going to ask you actually how you're doing. I'll tell you.
Okay, so Trisha, you're on the line. You wanted to speak to the good doctor. I don't know what your procedure is because it's the first time we've ever done it. So I'm just going to let you kind of take it away, okay?
All right. You'll just have to cut me off when you want to cut me off.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Just like do this or something.
I'll do the throat.
Because I kind of get lost when I'm doing it. So.
All right. You guys ready to do this?
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Okay. So what I'm going to do is the information that I get, it comes from spirit guides, from God, from people who've passed over. I do not consult the dead. I simply repeat everything that they show me, including maybe how they sound, what they look like, how they smell. And I will give you a chance when I'm finished to ask questions or clarify things. So then that way it's a clean reading. And everything is symbolic in the way that it's spoken. So I kind of translate it then into English. So I'll show you what I'm being shown first, and then I'll explain what it means. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So let me find you really quickly here. See what your guides are going to show me. Okay. All right. So that's interesting. Okay. I say interesting a lot because I'm kind of wandering around. When I'm doing this, I'm looking like down on a large diorama of your life. And then sometimes I'm put next to you, and sometimes I'm put into your shoes. And so when I'm looking down on you right now, they actually have you out on the water. So the first place that I look for everyone is a beach. That's where I was taught how to understand everything. And the beach represents safety. It represents security and grounding. Water of any kind represents issues, but it can represent opportunities, which is the case in your diorama. And you are standing up in this boat, and it actually has hooks on the front and the back of it. And it's anchored really far out in the water, which is odd. I don't think I've ever seen that before. But you have the other end anchored to a pier, and you're pulling on this rope without an oar, and this boat is moving across the water. Obviously, you're not going to float out. You're wearing what looks like a pair of capri pants rolled up, pair of Keds shoes, slip-ons, a t-shirt, some kind of a loose open cardigan. It's a pink in shade, which represents spiritual healing. I'll get to this in a minute. So ultimately what's happening here is the fact that you are anchored to this pier. That means that there are opportunities around you right now that you're either involved with or about to become involved in that are going to allow you a short span where you're able to have your cake and eat it too. You'll be able to see what your life will be like if you accept new opportunities compared to what it is now without giving anything up. And it is definitely a time to accept all the opportunities that come to you because they're not going to change your life right now. It will be up to you which way you decide to go. And this is a massive blessing to be able to do this. Most people don't. They have to go out on the water and make a choice. The fact that you're wearing these shoes, this is probably what's causing you to stand back and go, I'm not sure if I should, because shoes represent the feeling or the reality. So it's a perception or the reality that someone or something is holding you back from doing this. And it looks more like they're not so much saying to you, hey, don't do that. It seems to be something inside of you already that is like, well, if I do this, they might be upset or might be mad or I'm going to feel guilty. So this is your own issue that you need to get past in what you believe someone else is going to do to hold you back. It's not so much that they're going to stand in the door and say, no, don't do this. It just comes down to you not wanting to make other people uncomfortable. So this whole opportunity, everything else, the jeans are fine. They're very beachy. So that pink cardigan doodad that you're wearing, that also represents that spiritual healing I was talking about. And in reference to what they're saying right now, that you're getting through your own issues, your own traumas, your own past experiences of trying to move and navigate through life the best that you can to ensure that you're not sacrificing your happiness, but then you are inadvertently doing that because you're attempting to make everyone happy. And you can never make everyone happy. You just can't do that. It's impossible. And so you're sacrificing your own happiness because you believe yourself to be strong enough to do that, but then you're left high and dry in so many words. And then you've got that protective aspect. So the t-shirt and then that cardigan also represents layering. So you're also, you've got this Miss Fix-It thing going on for everyone else except yourself. So I would say allow yourself compassion that you give to everyone else. Look yourself in the mirror and be like, you know what, girl, you've got this. You're doing your best. You're trying your hardest. Give yourself a pat on the back. Allow yourself those compassions that you give so graciously to everyone else. So then if I pick you up and I actually switch you to your earthly path, which is different, it's a long hallway with doorways on either side. You actually stand in the first doorway to the left, which is money, finances, and career. And you swing the door open and you say, okay, what about this? So when I walk in here, actually the room looks like it's being a little transformed, and you are emptying boxes, loading boxes, moving things around. So this tells me that you are in a place where you're moving from just an earning position or an earning perspective into what am I going to do that's going to actually satisfy my soul? What am I doing that's an individualistic aspect that I feel like I'm fulfilling a purpose rather than just going out and making money? And that is, I think you're part of a huge collective in that right now with the way the world is anyway. I wouldn't think that that's anything unusual or odd. I think it is courageous, though, because it does mean that you're giving something up in order to pursue something else that's going to bring more happiness for you. And people may look at you like, what the heck are you doing? Why are you doing this now? So there's that aspect. Health too, very quickly, and then I'm going to round this up. But as far as health goes, head is good. Shoulders is good. Neck is good. Chest is good. You seem more prone to mimicry within your body. So instead of a cancer, you would have some kind of a cyst. Instead of a heart attack, you'll have palpitations. So you're just always going to have things within your system that mimic disease. So just be aware of those things and take care of them as they come. But overall, it looks like health is okay. Watch your lower digestive, though, like right above the pelvic umbilicus area. It feels like you have a bit of a blockage there. That could be chakras, but it can also be a sensitivity or a new intolerance to foods. So pay attention to what you're eating. It doesn't look like it's spicy or anything. It looks like it may be something off the chart that you would normally not eat that will rock your system a little bit. But other than that, everything looks okay. I would definitely clear my energy and make sure you don't end up with like IBS or Crohn's, something to that effect, because when we internalize and compact, we end up with these physical autoimmune issues. So watch your intestinal area, release, let go, white light. Yeah. Interesting.
What do you think of that, Tricia?
I like it. It was kind of spot on with a lot of different places that I feel I'm headed in right now. So.
Wonderful.
Do you have any questions you want to ask?
No.
If you do, you know what? If you come up with, and that's normal. Even for people after they've had an hour with me, they don't have questions until later they sit and they go, I should have asked that.
What in the hell was she talking about?
You're welcome to reach out to me privately, send an email or a message, and then I can answer something for you on the side.
Okay, sounds great.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you were looking for, Tricia?
Yeah, it really was.
Excellent.
Awesome. All right, we'll let you get back to your day. Good job, okay?
Awesome. Thanks.
Thanks.
Guys.
All right, we'll see
care.
you later, Tricia. Have a great day.
Thanks, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
That was interesting. That was a whole story you told.
I tried.
No, it's interesting because a lot of people, like we talked about before this, it would be, I'm seeing something about.
Oh, bullshit. It's crap.
But again, but that's what you see so much of.
Yeah.
You don't see okay, let me take a look. I'm going to dive in with a whole story of,
No, I try to walk through. If I can't see it from up here, they'll kind of transition me to here. And then if I'm not getting enough, I will throw things at them. Food, money, babies, elephants, puppies, things that you should know a profile of a way a person's going to react. Yeah. And then I watch how they react, or I'll pick them up. And if they kind of hang there, some of them hit, they fight back, they bite. It tells me a lot when I move a person's energy.
Let me ask you this. Was that easy or difficult?
No, she was easy.
With what you did?
I could have read her a lot longer. But okay. I knew I kind of just like a blip on spirit and then a blip on the earthly stuff.
I got you. Ready to do another one?
Sure.
Hello, it's Dave.
Dave, oh my God. Hey, Dave, it's B-sox from KGGO. How are you doing?
I said, this is a dude named Dave.
Yeah, hi, good.
I should have said it to you. Aww.
She just jumped up and started. Anyways, I'm here with Dr. Rebecca Foster. You were interested in having her take a look into your life, eh?
Yeah, definitely.
Let me ask you something real quick beforehand, because she said something about, like, as soon as she heard you and you said Dave, she jumped up screaming.
Yes, because I heard it's a dude named Dave, and I was like, okay, we'll see. That was exactly what I was saying.
It's a dude named Dave.
That's a relationship I have with my guides, and I was like, well, we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Right.
Well, Dave, just to give you an idea what's going to happen here, Dr. Rebecca Foster is going to take a look at your whatever, energy, book, life, everything. And then she's going to basically talk to you about it. And then kind of at the end, if you want to ask some questions or whatever, you'll be open to do that, okay?
Yeah, sounds great.
You ready for this?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. All right. The dude named Dave.
That's so funny. Oh my God. I should have said something when the
You
phone
should
was
have.
ringing. Darn it. All right. So, Dave, hi. Okay. As I heard it's a dude named Dave, I actually saw you driving down the road. Like I was with you driving, and I thought, okay, so why are you showing me in his car? So we'll get back from there. I'm going to actually back up. So really quickly, so that you understand, it's a symbolic reading. So I'm going to explain to you first what I'm being shown, and then I'll explain what it means, and we'll go from there. Okay? Okay.
All right, sounds good. Yeah.
So I'm going to get us out of the car, actually. And it's funny because when I'm sitting next to your energy, there is an aspect of desire for freedom, or the love of freedom, the love of just getting up and going, possibly just liking a road trip, or the need for that separation in a road trip that it provides. And so there is that defrazzling that I pick up immediately, that I want to express that if you're feeling that you need to breathe or that you need space, it's probably a reality, because I'm feeling it as well. And so let's take you from there. And when I read, I start people off on a beach. So the beach represents safety, security, and grounding. Water of any kind represents issues and problems. There's a whole vast beach area that I can actually start us off on. I'm going to let your guides kind of drop you. You're barefoot, you're in a pair of blue jeans, and you have no shirt on. You have it looks like a necklace around your neck with a claw of some kind. I don't know if it's an eagle or a tooth or what, but it's something sharp. And then you have a bracelet on your right-hand side. Oh, this is super cool, because I know they've got a past life thing that's about... Now, past lives are very interesting. Also, you have, what they're showing me is, you may actually have this, though. This may be why they're showing it, and it may be simply because it's manifesting as a problem or a pain that you're dealing with right now. And I'll explain why. Because you have a mark, a dark mark on between your shoulder blades, just to the left of your spine. It's right there. And so it's a pretty big mark that they're showing. All of this compiled, you have the water to your left. There is no boat. There are places where boats were, but they're not there anymore. This also means that all of the opportunities that you are about to pursue in life, and I'll get back to this in a minute. I just have to get this out before I lose the information.
Okay.
All of the things that you're about to pursue in life with endeavors and entrepreneurial issues and things that you're going to start are going to come from your comfort zone. So people will be like, oh my gosh, I saw this, Dave. You have to go for it. You have to do it. That sort of a thing. Rather than getting in the boat and go out and seeking it and having to risk something in order to bring it back or learn it, an opportunity. It's all going to come from what you're doing right now. You may even have a female from the past come up and say, hey, Dave, I saw this. I thought about it, thought about you. You need to do this, or we need to get together on something. So what's really cool here, and the reason they're giving it to me is because it's playing into a part of your life right now. That's the only reason it's showing up. I'll explain. The fact that you have the boat markings but no boats actually makes sense here. You may even have a love of water or a disdain for water in this lifetime because of what they're presenting. One, you're barefoot. Nothing is holding you back. Nobody's telling you what to do. The good thing is that you are really having to refer to your previous knowledge and experiences so that you can go, okay, I've been through this. I've done this before. You are learning. Wonderful learning is what's happening right now. The problem is that you'll go to ask for help and people, whatever, you just do it. You'll be fine. It'll be great. They're not going to give you devil's advocate or advice. Nothing right now. It's all on you. Good or bad, victories or failures are all yours. No one to blame but yourself. The jeans really mean nothing. They're not too tight. They're just jeans. Going topless. This means high spiritual input. So you have a Jiminy Cricket that you trust and you listen to, and it's also coming through like a male voice. So there is someone on the other side that is playing into, that almost feels just slightly upper tiered from you. So possibly a cousin or an uncle, but somebody that's coming through on the male side that is playing a bit of a Jiminy Cricket for you in this lifetime as a guide. And the reason for that too is because you're probably more apt to listen to their voice rather than them. in real life. And I would even ask Mom if you had an older sibling that maybe was miscarried, because a lot of times that would happen as well. So then you've got this necklace on with this claw, you've got this hole in your back, and then you've got these bracelets on your right wrist. So you are highly intuitive. You've got to learn. I think you already do trust your clairsentience. It also lends to the idea why you're so highly frustrated by people, because you see the solutions and you see the outcomes and people don't listen and people don't pay attention. So you have this real strong need to help people, but a contempt for people at the same time, because sometimes people are stupid, and that is aggravating for you. And that is represented by the bracelets on the right-hand side, because you're also a heart-working person. Heart, H-E-A-R-T. You're also someone who's very soul-driven, you're purpose-driven, and you find it hard to lock yourself down to it's really hard to lock yourself down to a traditional 9 to 5. It may even drive you nuts. You're more of that entrepreneur that they were talking about, who wants to go out and experience this right now and go where you're needed as you're needed. And it's this leadership compound that just keeps adding up to making you fulfill purpose more than paycheck. And then that hole in your back. So all of this, you have this previous life. Previous lives are shown because you died when you were attempting to achieve something, and you died doing it. You're not going to this time. You're actually overcoming that hump, but you are shown in a boat. I have to think you look very Celtic in this ship, and it looks like something, a spear or a sword, something goes through in that spot between your shoulder blades to the left of your spine and kills you. And you're about, I would look at you and I think, through the ages, older people or younger people look older. I don't know why, but I would think you're about 25 to 27 when you died, and you were on a boat. So that's why I said you may either love the freedom of the boat, and you may actually hate it because you would have been on water. And you may not even have a birthmark in that area, but you may have back problems between your shoulder blades that deal with nerves, nerve pain, that sort of thing is where it may manifest in that respect. It's very cool, though. And you're also, another part of it, I know I should probably round it out, right? But super, super cool. I love when past lives come through, because they help people to understand what they're going through. And the fact that you were seafaring and I don't see any relationship around you. So relationships for you would mean a lot. You fall in love easily. And you also, you are very, loyal. You're very loyal. And I think that might even be misconstrued or not accepted right away. So people who, if you are around anyone who has very low self-esteem or self-confidence, that will be a problem for you because of the nature of who you are, the way people are drawn to you, your personality. People who are insecure are going to have a massive problem with that. You need to find somebody who's really confident around you, that has their own self-confidence at that same level. It's interesting.
Sure, yeah.
Dave, how did all that sound to you? Did any of it hit home?
Yeah, definitely. It was a lot to kind of take in here. I wish I was taking notes.
I've got it recorded. So you'll be able to hear the whole thing again.
Sure.
Do you have questions for the good doctor here, or?
Yeah. So, yeah, I would say some of the stuff that hit home, like guiding spirits of sorts that you mentioned.
Yeah.
Like I do have, my father passed away 4 or 5 years ago, and that could be a thing. And you mentioned miscarried child, which my mom did before I was born.
Feels
so
brotherly, or on that tier, just above you. Mm-hmm. So it did not feel like a father figure. It felt like a brotherly level, just above you. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, I definitely, a lot of the stuff hit home. I don't work a traditional 9 to 5. I own and operate a food truck that,
a what?
Me to different food truck.
And you're driving. You're a food truck driver, so that's why I was driving with you.
So like I go to different. We serve food at different events, so we go to different locations. So
interesting. That's why. Okay, makes sense.
Brings me to all different locations every day, something different.
That's fabulous. That's the way to be. It's super hard to have when you're soul driven, it's so hard to hold a 9-to-5 job. And I don't think people, they're so told to conform, to grow up, get a job, have security. And people like yourself who are not here for that find it very hard. And then sometimes they're made to feel like they're insignificant or insecure. I don't even know.
Yeah.
My brain doesn't work when I'm doing this.
That's great.
I make up words as I'm going along, but it's great that you realized that this is not what I want to do. I really want to be my own business owner. That entrepreneur aspect of who you are, it really shines through.
Yeah. And it's like you mentioned, kind of in there. It's not something. Everybody needs money to survive realistically. But
realistically,
it is more. But it is more of a passion, and it's rewarding in other ways.
Yes,
just financially.
That's it. The soul wallet instead of the financial wallet. People don't realize how important that is.
Hey, Dave, before we let you go,
Yep.
What was the emotion while you were listening to that?
It it just felt very real. At first you started mentioning you envisioned me driving, so I was driving. I just pulled over, but yeah, it really kind of hit home. It felt like you really could kind of see me, and even reaching down my back, I've got a kind of like a mole on my back, just to the left side of my spine that you kind of mentioned as well. So
Are you a little weirded out?
I wouldn't say weirded out.
I don't think so, because I think that I think that you have enough experience in the weird so much that there's probably more experiences that you've had that maybe haven't never been confirmed but are real. I don't know. It's interesting.
I get you.
Yeah, I mean, I believe in past lives and souls, and there's definitely something there. So I definitely cool. I mean, it's I wouldn't say weird. I mean, I guess everything's kind of weird, but it's very unique to hear.
Considering some lady just took a look at your life and she's wearing a Harry Potter sweater. So,
yeah.
Hey, if Dave wants to reach out and ask if he thinks of a question or something, is that cool?
Absolutely. You can find me, and then if you've got questions or anything regarding this that you want to just email or ask privately, you're welcome to do that.
Sure. Yeah, I really appreciate it.
Okay, no problemo.
Dave, get back to work, okay?
Drive safely.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah, all right. See you, Dave.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Is it taxing on you?
No, not really. I'm used to doing it all day.
Yeah.
And these are short little blurbs.
Yeah.
Easy.
How was Dave's? Was
easy.
It again easy?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Some of them, it just depends on how open a person is. If they come on and they're a little nervous or worried, they might kind of hole up. It'll take me an extra minute to kind of peel them back, but you can
open up.
Yeah, you can always edit that out.
Hello.
Hi, is this Lisa?
Yes, it is.
Lisa, it's B-sox from KGGO.
Hey.
Hey, I'm here with Dr. Rebecca Foster. Are you ready to get a little bit of a reading today? You were interested in this?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, here's what's going to happen. And Doc, do you want to explain or do you want me to?
You go right ahead.
Long story short, she's going to kind of take a look at things and essentially tell you a little story about yourself. And then after she kind of gets that out, if you want to ask questions or respond or whatever, you can absolutely feel free, okay?
Okay.
Is that all right?
Yeah, that works.
All right, let's dive in.
All right.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is just find your energy, and the information I get comes through symbolically from spirit guides, God, and from people who've passed over, although I do not consult the dead. I just repeat everything that they show me, and it's symbolic, so I'll explain first what they're showing me, and then I'll explain what it means. And before I even get to my reading place, which is a beach, you actually have this energy that smells like an oversized, like queen cupcake. It's like, it almost smells strawberry-ish. It smells like I'm dealing with a champagne or something, like a white buttercream. Now, keep in mind, these smells that I have, delicious, yes, so red. The strawberry aspect represents passions. It represents fire. The buttercream smell is very heavenly. It's like spun sugar, hot sugar, vanilla sugar. These are all smells like heavenly smells. So you have this energy about you. People will unknowingly understand this about you. They will smell that in the only way I can explain it is through it's not pheromones, it is a psychic thing. And people will pick up on that. They will understand the generosity of your soul, and they will also understand the sunniness of your disposition. So you might become a bit of a feeding source. And also the fact that you smell heavenly, people who are troubled, addicted, people who are abusive, narcissistic, they will also be attracted to that smell and your light source in an attempt to feed on you. So you really have to be careful who is around you and if they are in any way, shape, or form toxic to you. So you really have to ascertain how people make you feel. And if you are tired or exhausted after being around them, then you may want to just call off a conversation in the future, or maybe not even accept a call. But because of this, people will be attracted to your energy, and they'll want to, like, you probably already have several emotional vampires around you. Another message that's coming through from your guides is stop trying to impress people. Stop trying to do anything to make people around you like you. If they don't like you at your worst, then they need to go. So ultimately what your guides are saying is it's time for you to clean house. It is time for you to realize who your real closest soul connections are in this lifetime and let the rest go, because you are not going to make them all happy and you can't make them all like you for the depths of who you are. They're only really truly paying attention to the superficiality of maybe the way that they are projected and how they are viewed or seen. And it's real. Be the square. Don't fit into the circle any longer. Be the square in the circle. Just kind of jut in there halfway, half not in there, and let people stare at you and gawk. And be that difference, because that's what makes you different and that's what makes you important where you are in your life right now. Now, also, as I'm reading you, I'm going to pick you up and put you down on your beach. So the beach is where I normally go first, unless the guides give me some pertinent information, especially in this quick flash reading experience. The beach represents safety, security, and grounding. Water of any kind represents issues, and it can also represent opportunity. You, my friend, have put all of your opportunities on hold. It seems like for someone else's success. To support someone else's success. So you have really fit into an idea of who and what you are supposed to be, and then allowed and sacrificed your own individuality and your own successes so that someone else can achieve. And so looking at this, it's time for you to call in the boats. And what I mean is God provides us boats when it's time to safely go out on water. And I see a humongous ship, like a big shrimping boat, big one, out on the water. And you need to get to that. The only way that that's going to happen is when this little dinghy boat shows up and you're able to take it out and get out. Now, the biggest thing about this is it means that you are going to take something that you are very good at. Something that not only you have experience in, education in, but knowledge in, tacit knowledge. You're going to take that and ride that boat out to that ship. This means that you're going to merge or integrate or provide a larger corporation with something that you alone can provide. This also means you're going to be breaking a really bad habit of not rocking the boat, of making sure that everybody is taken care of and happy. You are going to make changes in your life that are going to cause others to change. And the best thing about this is when you do it, you will see who is meant to be around you. Those that care are going to say, oh my gosh, this is going to be hard, but go for that big boat. Get your butt out there. And then there are other people who are going to look and go, no. Who's going to do this if you're not here to do it? Well, I guess we'll just have to figure that one out. But it's time for you to do these. You're here for a purpose. You're here for a reason. And you have this amazing energy about you that is it's so meek and kind, but it is accomplished in a way that you're able to get things done. And so I think people also underestimate what you're capable of based on maybe the fact that they look at you and they think, oh, she's so tiny or petite, or she's so just girly, or she shows so this or whatever. And they misjudge you by a mile, truly, as to what strengths you have. And partially because you put your feelings on the side for everything. And your guides are saying it is time for her to rock the boat. It is time for her to go for herself. And this is a new opportunity that you have not experienced before. If the boat shows up, the opportunity arises, you get in that dang thing and you take it out to this. Just take it. Just don't even stay on the beach anymore. Now, flip you really quickly to your earthly path to kind of get some more confirmation on what this is. So the first doorway, this is like a long hallway. And so the first doorway on the left, this is money, finances, and career. When I walk in here, there is in the very back wall a set of tubes, and the tubes represent income. So when I walk in here, this room, again, it's very clean lines. It's really a beautiful peachy pink color. This represents amicability, friendship, determination, how people see you as this rosy, sunshiny, healing property within you. That, I mean, there's this energy that makes people want to work with you. Let's just put it that way. They're happy to work with you. In the back wall, there is a small tube coming in at the bottom that represents a financial wallet, money coming in that is working either your job or an income of some kind that is solid. Above that is a gigantic perforation, which shows that this is something that, again, is innate within you. It is tacit knowledge, experiential knowledge that you have built on over the years that you are good at, and you have to punch that sucker out. That is what is represented by this boat that you're going to take to the ship in the water. Then you're going to have to integrate that and bring it back to your bed. I know, I'm like, I better round out this reading real quick. Okay, so then I hear children around you too, and I hear them in the distance. I'm not seeing them, which is great. You don't want a whole bunch of people on your beach. This is your space. But I hear this echoing behind you, and I see what looks like, I think this is two children I'm hearing talking right now. And I'm not sure where they are. I can't see them, but I can hear them. And I feel like they're down the hall. So I wonder if these are someone else's children. They're in the I hate the relationship room. But I'm going to walk past the relationship room. They're in the relationship room. Okay. That's interesting. So either they're either your children or they're coming to you. And I don't see them. I hear them in this room. That's interesting. And they're not souls, so they're here. These children are here. And then I don't see anyone else around you. I could probably read for you a lot longer, but just to clarify this journey that I'm seeing you going on, the fact that I'm not able to pull someone in, I don't know if you're single or if you're married or what at this point, but this is a singular journey, meaning you're going to go through a lot of emotion on this and through this on your own, by yourself. And that's okay. Either way, it doesn't matter. God never really shows me the relationships and the meanings of them. But I just see you going through a lot alone right now. And really quickly, do I have a minute real fast?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to just check something else real quick, because up on the dune that overlooks the beach area, I want to check two things. There's a house that represents you specifically, and that's interesting. Okay, so when I walk up, it looks like something that's made out of marshmallows. Again, the pink color. Interesting. It's very squishy. It's really, but as I walk up to the house, the doorway's kind of cocked open. The windows are open. It's saying, come in, come in, come in. This is an inviting house. It's you. You are a person who's like, come in, come in. But truly, I think you're more like me, where you just want to hide. You don't want to answer the door unless you know for sure they're coming over. You don't want unexpected guests, but you put yourself aside all the time for other people. You need to not answer the phone. You need to just be like, I don't have time for this right now. I know you're expecting a smile and everything's fine, but it's not okay right now. Go away. You need to start being a little more assertive. There's nothing wrong with being assertive. There's nothing wrong with that. It is standing up for yourself in a positive way. You need to break out of this shell, so to speak, that of expectation, I think is the way to go for it. And I want to take you out of like the princess dress and throw you in a mutter. That's what I want to do. I want to be like, bling, because that's the strength that I see from your soul. But then I see around these other people and I'm like, why is she dressed like that? Like, I want her in a mutter. I want her dirty. I want her strength. I want her tank tops and muscles. That's what I see you as. That's how I see your soul accomplishing and jumping over giant buildings and lifting other people up. That's how I see you. I don't think the people around you have the courage to allow you to be that. I know that sounds crazy, but you've got some great stuff going on. That's all I know.
Lisa, how's it hear that?
It's kind of cool.
It wasn't what you were expecting?
I don't know. It's kind of a lot to take in. I do have some toxic family in my life, so it kind of makes sense there.
Yeah.
Lisa, do you have questions? Anything you want clarification on? What can we do for you?
No, I don't think I have any questions. As far as like spirits, are there spirits around me?
Well, I didn't see any come through, but as far as like angelically, yes. We all have about up to 6 that are with us each in this lifetime, each of us. And then we have our archangels. But as far as those who've passed over, nobody came through on their own right away.
Okay.
I'm not seeing anybody. I don't know if that is there. Let me just see them a second. I'm actually going to pick you up and move you so I can get a better perspective of this person. And what do they look like? So hard sometimes when they don't come through all the way. And a lot of times they don't. I'm giving her a chance. A lot of times they don't because they know the person I'm reading for is okay, or it's something real quick like this. They don't have the time or the energy. I just see a female, and I thought I heard her say like Margaret or Margot, something like that, that looks like she would have had darker hair in life, but it looks more salt and peppery now. And I say gray rather than white because it looks a little coarser. But she's got something in her hand, and that's why I was trying to clarify, and I'm waiting for her to come through and show me something. I don't know if that's a deck of cards or what she's got in her hand, but it's like she's it's like if you were to move a Rubik's Cube in your hand, to twist it, but she's got something that she's like flipping in her hand like a deck of cards. So not shuffling it, and she has she in life would have had arthritis. Her knuckles are very large, rheumatoid, I think, because her hands are, the finger parts are tiny, but the knuckles are larger, all of them. And she wants me to acknowledge that. An M. And you are Lisa. Okay. And Spark. A spark or Sparky. Oh, no, I just want to throw up for some reason. Somebody just made me want to throw up. As soon as I heard that name, it sounded like Sparky or Spark or something. Sparky. I don't know if that's for an animal or what. But I just got nauseous. And who's doing that? Somebody's doing that. I'm 5'7". I think she would have been taller than me in life. I think she shrank, maybe due to the arthritis. And as you walk by her, she mentioned something about money, doing something with the money or doing something with money. And what looks like, oh, that's odd. Looks like a bowl, like a big bowl. It almost looks like it would have some fake painting on it, something that would mimic, like in the 30s and 40s, there was a big thing about Japanese decor, and it looks something Japanese, but it's fake. It's not real Japanese. It's not Japanese. Oh, something just made me so sick. I don't know what it was. Do you guys have, do you have, you don't even have to ask this question. It's rhetorical. You don't have to answer it, but it feels like she's wanting me to acknowledge strokes within the family or something hereditary like that. And I'm wondering if that's diabetes. Oh. My blood sugar just gone. She's trying to get me to acknowledge that. And then one of three. So either you have two siblings or something that she's talking about one of three. And she's trying to give me everything she can to acknowledge who she is, but she's so clear. I would ask if you know anybody, if they know who she is with an M. And it almost sounded like I heard like Aline or Eileen as well. Irene, Eileen, something like that. Maybe ask if there's anybody in the family that resembles her. She's almost looks like, do you know off Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure, the truck driver with the big hair?
Large Marge?
Oh, and that's a Marge. Margot. That's interesting. So
Tell him Large Marge sent you.
Okay, ask if there's like a Marge or a Margaret or a Margot in the family that is trying to come through. That's interesting because I'm seeing that face too. So
that face is...
That's right. So she's trying really hard to get me to acknowledge who she is. So find out within the family. You know what? I'll tell you what, Lisa. I read for a woman for an hour one time, and there's a gentleman named Ken. Now, I don't know any Ken. And he would not let up. The next day she called, and she said, I feel so stupid. Ken is my son who had passed over. She wasn't looking for him. She was looking in life. So find out through the family if there's a Margot or Margaret that resembles that. And this is all recorded, so you'll be able to go back and listen. But questions that you may have, anything like that, you're welcome to reach out to me at another time on a private note, and I'll do my best to answer it for you that way too.
Okay.
Is that cool, Lisa?
That's cool. Thank you.
Awesome.
Did any of this hit home?
A little bit.
Perfect.
Yeah, a little bit did.
Well, I think some of it too was future. It's on the precipice. It's not happened yet. So when it does, then you'll be able to provide feedback about that. Like the ship arrived.
All right, Lisa. We've got your contact, and like I said, if you have more questions, we can get you directed to the right place. Okay.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right, Lisa. Take care.
Thank you.
Was that tougher?
No, it's not tougher. It's that people know they're on the radio.
Okay.
And when she first said hello, she was like, "Oh, hi."
This was a good idea until right now.
Now it's walls up. And I tried to give her non-personal, but her guides were beating her up pretty good. And sometimes when you get information, people are like, "Oh no, God, who's listening?
Yeah.
Oh no, is somebody going to know?" All I know is they got the message. She got the message. And she can, I think it plays it off well for her that she's able to go, "Oh, well, some of it."
Yeah. Okay.
And, because I get people.
March.
That's so weird. But that's the same name.
Yeah.
She's trying to depict who she is. But I mean, I've read for people who are abused, and it'll be
definitely not.
And I'm trying to give them what they need without busting them on the radio.
You don't need third party stupid radio
so
DJ
hard.
here, talking about it. Anyway, you got 2 more in you?
Maybe. We'll see how easy they are.
A donut?
Hello?
Melinda.
Yes.
Hey, it's B-sox from KGGO. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
The chewing in the background would be Dr. Rebecca Foster. She needed to take a sugar break.
I don't blame her.
I did.
Well, Melinda, here's how this is going to work. You probably got some questions. Hold off for a second. The good doctor is going to take a look at things and basically tell you a story, okay? And see if
Okay.
some stuff hits home, and we'll go from there and see what happens, okay?
Okay.
You ready for this?
Sure.
This sounds like another one. It was a good idea until just now, wasn't it?
No, it's fine. I have no problems.
All right. Well,
I know that's...
you're like, who's going to hear this? Everybody. All right.
No,
the four
I'm
people
good.
that listen to my show is who's gonna hear it.
Okay. Well, you have a relatable energy. You have a great energy. So what I'm going to do is pick you up and I'm going to put you on a beach. So the beach is where my guides talk to me. They give me symbolic information. It comes from God, from spirit guides, from people who've passed over. I will explain to you first what I am seeing, and then I'll explain what it means. And so the beach represents safety, security, and grounding. Water of any kind represents issues, but it can also represent opportunity. And the first thing that I'm hit with is your life choice. We choose our lives when we come down here. We choose what we're going to go through, how we're going to go through it. And sometimes they're easy, sometimes they're hard. And you have chosen a difficult path. And on top of it, you choose the difficult path anyway. The way that your guides are showing, before I even get to your beach, they put you next to a bridge. And we are standing on the left side of this bridge. And there is a tread pattern that shows that you have been pacing this area for a while. And you also have a tread pattern up a hill in front of you, which is so interesting. Okay, so you, girl, have been doing circles for a long time. You have been choosing the same old path for years, and you know it. And that the crossing the bridge part is one of the hardest things we can do, because it takes us from all the things that we know, the people we know, our comforts, even if they're not what we entirely want. It takes us away from those things into another side of this giant hedge that we need to take a set of clippers and create a doorway and a pathway through to it. And it's terrifying because we've never done it. We don't know what the outcome is. And so what happens is you get stuck in this pattern of going up the hill. You get to the top, you get in a raft, you come down the white water, you're bounced around at the mercy of your life. You have no way of controlling it. So you feel like life is going crazy on you, and you're not being the one to proactively be able to choose, because again, you're just trying to stay alive. It bounces out and it bottoms out, and then you get out of the water, and this is where you choose. Do I get off left or right? You keep getting off on the left-hand side, and you keep choosing the same people, the same situations over and over. That will continue until you realize your negative habits, your bad habits. And it may not just be something that we do. It could be a person or a personality type. And you have to start focusing on what it is that you know. When you make that choice, you realize, okay, all right, so if I go this way, everybody's there. It's not exactly what I want, but it's easier than this because I don't know what's this way, and I'm afraid of spider webs anyway, and that's full of spider webs and creepy crawlies, and I'm not ready for. So what happens is we go and we make that little turn right, boop, and it loops around and it brings us back to the same place every single stinking time until we finally go, oh my God, I can't do this anymore. I'm not taking this turn anymore. I'm going to finally get off on the left. And that's what this bridge represents, is you crossing over the water, over the problems, realizing that it's not simple, and getting to the other side. It feels like self-sufficiency as well. It feels like as you cross the bridge, you're experiencing some form of a loss. And that may be where the fear comes in, is, am I capable? Am I strong enough? Am I all right? And part of that fear doesn't even look like it's a real or like a reality coming from you. It's something that you've repeatedly heard. So you have to consider not just right now, but I want you to go back. Let me look. I want you to go back to 6 years, 4. Yeah, you're between 4 and 6. I want you to go back to her. Barefoot, teddy bear, nightgown, front door to your left, hallway to the bedroom in front of you, kitchen, dining room to your right. I want you to go back to her. And I want you to walk up to her, and everything is happening around her, and I want you to get down on your knee, and I want you to look at her and go, hey, it's me, I'm you, and everything's going to be okay. And I've got you, and I'm here. I've survived. We survive. We get through all of this together. We get through life together. And I need you to join me right now because I need your strength. I need your vulnerability. I need your faith right now. Will you come with me? And I need you to go back to her. And then I want you to go collect 15-year-old you and do the same thing. And find out, let them see who you are and how amazing you are and how strong you are and what you've gotten through. And reassure them that you need both of them right now and all of their attributes because you know what your strengths were at those ages. And grab those because you need all of that right now in order to cross this bridge. It looks like you're breaking habits and not just maybe a cigarette habit or a drinking habit. It may not even be that. It could be you're breaking habits that have held you back for a long time. And when I say that, I smell exhaust. I don't know why. I'm smelling like if you were to rev a motorcycle in a garage. It just smells like exhaust in my face. So it's definitely time to get out of there. It's definitely time to find an exit point and go breathe some fresh air. I want you to also realize that when I spiritually ask your guides to place you in your beach, they actually put you in a beautiful, like I would call it a wildflower field. I would think if you don't have one yet, you will be getting a butterfly tattoo somewhere on you because they really do represent your transformation of the fact that you're even on the phone with me right now. Because it looks like you have had at least one exit point of choice of why the hell am I even here anymore? And that movement from a fat caterpillar to something with wings, this is you. That is you. And you're barefoot. Nobody's telling you what to do. You have to realize that. And you just are swirling and you flip your hair around and your eyes are closed and the sun is golden on you and you're feeling this amazing reconnection with yourself. But there's also a female there with you that resembles you almost like a twin. And so twin soul, she's spiritual though. This means that your connected soul is heavenly. And that means that you at one point probably did have a twin, maybe in a previous life, but one of you came and one of you stayed. You're highly connected spiritually. I think you may even have a little bit of witchy poo in you. And so your earth, wind, fire, water, these are very important levels of you regrounding, and your faith and the tree, all of these things, they keep just throwing them at me as far as how you can reground and really stabilize yourself, to have faith. Trees die every year and then they come back in the spring and they grow an extra foot by the end of summer. So the whole aspect of you is rebirth. And what do butterflies do? I mean, they go from a fat caterpillar to mush. It's just like when, it's like God melts us down and then he strengthens us. That's you. You can never go back to wingless. That's you. Yeehaw.
Okay.
I love that message. That's fabulous.
Melinda, what did you think of that?
Yeah. Wow. Like, yep. 4 to 6 years ago was a very bad time in my life. Yeah. So it makes sense that she would pick up on that.
Interesting.
Now when you say the witchy poo stuff,
yeah,
go down that road because that's the first you've said that today. And
yeah,
Melinda, who if I heard right, may acknowledge that in some way.
Well, for something like that, that the fact that they're even acknowledging the butterfly aspect, they're representing a lot of old soul things happening here, and the whole aspect of faith may not just be that, you know, you're going to church and doing that. That has nothing to do with it. It has to do with your faith of being able to stick around in your grounding. And I do believe it goes back religiously, spiritually, through the ages for your life. And, excuse me, I think some of that may even, you know, go back. I bet one of your favorite things is like Salem, 1600s. I bet you would relate to that. Your soul feels like it's connected somehow to that idea throughout the years. So it's not so much a religion. Okay. It's not religion. It's the spiritual aspect. So running around barefoot outside, burning a fire, full moon aspects, you're probably a huge lunatic. So...
In a good way.
In a good way. Yes, exactly.
Well,
Yes.
I mean, what would we do if you said in a bad way?
No, in a good way. It's the sensitivity to the moon and what it's doing. Its pulls, its pressures, it's the ebb and the flow and the cycle. So being highly sensitive to that energy is highly what's going on here. Yeah.
Melinda, as we get to the end of this, do you have any questions or thoughts or anything you want to say?
I don't know.
We've heard that a lot today.
I am sure. Can you tell if there are any like spirits around me?
Everybody wants to know that. And the thing is like if I was to say spiritually on a celestial level, yes, those who've passed over, completely different because they're human energies. Unless we're talking those that are physically around you right now, the ones that react to you and your family and your animals, or vice versa. So around you physically on a house level right now, you actually have an older female. And I would think elderly in a way that she feels like she shuffles a little bit when she walks. And I don't know if she's related to you or just the property itself, but I would think that this would be a property or a home area that she would have passed away in or around. And the high connection to her is to the property, not you. So if you're experiencing anything, I wouldn't think she'd be a bother. I would think the problem would be maybe if you've got children around that are seeing her, they might be frightened. Even animals might react more so to the bedroom hallway. Even the
Interesting.
Coming out of that by the laundry room or something. There's a closet or something. Is that a furnace or a washer and dryer right there? But I feel like if I round the corner, I'm by a laundry room or something. And like I can hear the motor running. Do you have like a closet with a hallway with a closet that has a machine in it or a furnace or washer and dryer, something like that coming out of the bedroom area?
No. But I don't know what was there before our house was built.
Oh, okay. Do you have closets that have the slits in it, the kind of where you hide in when the murderers are coming through your house, but you can still see them?
No.
Okay. I wonder if that's an old house or something, if there was something else redone.
How old's the house?
It was built in 97.
Okay,
so it's not too old.
Not too old, but old enough that, I mean, you could theoretically make some changes into something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not trying to make it sound,
Just feels like I'm walking past a motor of some kind into the bedrooms or into a bedroom hallway.
Well, you did attribute, could that be a holdover? You said she had a smell of exhaust.
Oh, yeah.
Earlier.
True.
Yeah, could be.
Interesting.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
If wait, how about your childhood home? Does that resemble your childhood home?
No.
No, not even a grandmother's. Okay. Because if I'm standing in a living room and I look forward, it's a hallway. And again, there's this closet that looks like I'd either have a water heater or a laundry machine or something here, head towards the bedrooms. If I go to my right, I would be dealing in a like kitchen, dining room. If I go to my left, I would leave the house. I would go towards a door. Interesting. That doesn't make any sense to you.
No.
With a white slat closet door. And was the house redone before?
No, but I know it was a farm before the people before us built the house, so I'm not sure what was on the farm before the house was built.
Okay. All right. Interesting. Interesting.
So it could be a completely different building.
Possibly.
It could be. Yeah.
Who knows?
Okay. Well, when I'm reading for people, sometimes, like I had said before, people look at a certain level, like what they either know or what they are expecting, and then they go, "Oh, yeah, that could be that." And so that's why I'm trying to find out why it's so clearly placed around you, and it's not the way that it is. Interesting. Because when I find your energy, that's where I'm placed, and when I remotely view you, that's where I'm placed. I would probably have to reverse and find another place to stand in order to figure out exactly where you are in your house.
Huh.
Interesting. A lot of green, too.
Yeah.
A lot of green. A lot of green. And you don't have any green. Interesting.
Yeah, we have green trim on our house, but that's about it.
No, Yeah, no, it would be within the house. Interesting.
Well, maybe it'll be like your the Ken story you told earlier. Where
Possibly.
something comes up later.
Yeah.
Or a thought or something. I don't know.
Maybe.
So. Melinda, any last thoughts here? Any last questions?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Well, hey, if you think of something or something comes up, or if you'd like to reach out to the good doctor here, we can put you in touch, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
Sounds good. Thanks.
All right, Melinda, take care.
Yep, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Yep, you
Bye.
too. Bye.
I'm so freaked out.
Why?
Because when I'm shown stuff, it's real. It's like there's some, and they're not letting me change it, which means somebody's not picking up on something.
Will this stuff come to you later on? Like,
I will not think of them again. I will forget everything.
Really?
I don't even, like I'm losing it all, kind of like a smoke in the wind.
Okay. So it's like a dream.
Yes, because I'm being given that information. I'm not thinking it. So it's given to me. I repeat what I'm shown, and then it's gone. It's instead of me coming up with it, that's why it's gone. Unless somebody has something that's remarkable, and then later they'll go, "Oh, you read for me and it was this. Oh my, I remember that." Refresh my memory.
So like in Melinda's case there, where you're talking about something that it doesn't sound like it makes sense right now, could that come back later and come into a little bit more focus?
No.
No? Okay.
No, unless she was to call and say, "I figured it out.
Okay.
This is what it is," and then she can replace me back in that situation. I will not remember it.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
So nothing carries over? Are there any that, because I always...
Sometimes I'll read for someone and I'll say, "This sounds really strange, but I feel like I'm telling you this again."
Yeah.
And they'll confirm for me later, like, "Oh, well, I had a reading 3 months ago and that's what you said." And you know what? I love that it's the same message. But it also is bad because they haven't done that yet, and now they're getting the same message. So...
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I could probably ask you a million more questions.
Yeah, this could go on all day.
Dr. Rebecca Foster in studio with me right now. We'll start to wrap things up because you look a little tired.
I always look like this.
No, but I mean, it has to be taxing in some way. And I didn't mean that as a bad thing.
No,
I
it's
know,
my eyes. No, you know what? It's because when I'm reading, that's why I actually have these, because when I'm reading, I normally have my distance glasses on, but my eyes, they get pulled on when I'm looking through the dimensions. And so I've actually had to start wearing glasses for close-ups and for distance. And it's messed up my eyes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. doing it.
And I imagine this can't be easy coming into a foreign place with a foreign person. And
No, it's fine.
Is it?
Yeah, no, I'm so used to it. I really, really am used to it. There are times when I think I can't read here, or I'm barraged by too many things.
Yeah.
And they won't leave me alone, so they distract me the whole time, or they talk while I'm trying to, and it's just a distraction. So yeah, there are places where I'm like, I will never go back there again. I will never. It was so hard to read people at that place. Yeah.
Would you come back here?
Oh yeah, you don't have any boogans that bother me here.
That's good. Not
at all. Radio stations, oddly enough, usually are haunted.
I have heard stories, but I've never been a part of it.
Yeah. I haven't had.
Although
anything.
I have had one story from here.
You have.
Would you like to hear it?
Of course. Share. Do tell.
So I was sitting here doing the show, working on some stuff.
Yeah.
And out of the corner of my eye, right over here, I saw something go like this.
Oh, that's cool.
And it was pure black.
Oh, that's not cool.
Just the top of the head, peeked up, and by the time I looked over, it was gone.
Okay, so it's probably just a child. And the cool thing about that is when people see shadow figures, they're always like, oh my God, it's a shadow figure. But what it really is when you're in the dark and you see something and you look and it's not there, and then you look away and you can see it peripherally. Yeah. That's what it is. It's because the way that they're hitting the light dimensionally, the cones in your eyes are reflecting that you're able to see them peripherally, but the moment you look, the light's off and you can't see it.
Let me ask you something. If you see something and it has I'm trying to think.
A glow?
No, not a glow, but like a coloring to it. Like you could definitely tell like it had a color to it, but it was like I wouldn't be able to just say, hey, take you to Menards and show you, color palettes.
You psychically saw the colors.
So it would be like a mashup of like light browns, almost like caramel or something.
Yeah.
What's something like that?
That's a materialization in an attempt to materialize.
Okay.
So if you are seeing more than a shadow or more than maybe a white outline, and you're seeing the colors in a blur almost sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then that are attempting to materialize. If you see that, whip out your phone or put something right where it's happening and say, pull on the battery. Do what you got to do here.
Yeah.
And it'll be able to draw from that energy because we're electrical beings after we die. Just like this, it's the same thing that's within these meat sacks is when we peel them off. So electrical.
It's, you know what, I was just thinking, I've got all these batteries for like power tools.
Yeah.
I wonder if you just put those around the house.
You could. They can draw off of anything electrical. Okay. They can draw off anything. Mm-hmm.
I saw something run up the stairs at our house one time. I thought it was our kid.
It wasn't.
And my wife, who doesn't believe in any of this stuff, she'll say I was crazy for talking to you. Because she's never had an experience.
Okay, understandable.
I've seen just enough weird out there to think, okay, there's a little more going on.
Yeah.
But I saw something go up the stairs, and I thought it was our kid who we put in the corner because he was being a little a-hole.
Oh, really?
I can't imagine. I went stomping over to see if he was still in the corner. He was still in the corner. I'm like, what did I just see?
Hello, yeah,
and
that's cool.
I went back in, and she goes, what's wrong with you? I go, you'll think I was crazy. And she goes, what? And I said, I just saw something run up the stairs. And she goes, it was probably one of the cats. Like the cats don't run on their hind legs, honey.
Yeah. Do you know what's really fun about that stuff, though, is if you recognize that and you see it, they will present to you more and more to where everybody that's living is going to think you're a nut job. But you get to the point, like at my house, you hear something and everybody's like, get the ghost kids, let's go find out what it was. And everybody is running to whatever it is. And that's, everybody, oh, there goes the dog. Oh, did you see the cat? The cat just, oh, there's a child playing hide and seek.
We have a joke about our ghost cat.
Oh, you do?
Because we had one of our cats pass. And we just have made the joke that the ghost cat is still around. So.
Absolutely. Pets stick around. Animals stick around with the families. They just do.
Yeah.
People stick around. People stick around. My great-grandfather, when he died, I know our time is up. I was 4, and when he died, I fell asleep, and I somehow ended up at his house. And the ambulance showed up to pick him up. And I was standing in the living room watching them bring him down on a stretcher. And he sat up, And I was like, holy cow, Bumpa's alive. And he goes, where are you taking me? Where are you taking me? And he flipped out and he got off the stretcher and then he took his body out. But I go downstairs, I go back over there and Bumpa's sitting in the chair, just sitting there, just every day. I'm like, well, Bumpa's right here. I know what y'all are talking about. And no, Bumpa's gone. I know you loved him, but he's not here. I'm like, Bumpa's right there. And all of my friends too, they're like, do you remember Bumpa Ghost? I'm like, yeah. She goes, I never believed you until now. So
There you go. Is any of this stuff running in your family?
Yes. I think my aunt is super connected. She's had a lot of ghostly experiences and she's very intuitive as well. My father, I think, had more than he had ever acknowledged.
Yeah.
My brothers are very connected, but they also are on the fence. Like they've seen stuff, they love it. And then my younger brother's like, there is nothing out there. There is no God. There is no nobody. And you'd think that living with me, they would understand. But all of my kids are attuned. They can all see, they can all hear, they can all talk. It's just like me. Yeah, it's like a family affair. It's fabulous.
All right. We'll get all your information at the bottom of the page.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me. I'm kidding. It's a blast.
This was fun.
I love doing this.
It was a very interesting afternoon.
Yay. It's a good thing. Interesting in a good way.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.